Hello, friends. It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And we're going to talk about misery, madness, and misery. Yeah, let's get right in there, shall we? Madness and misery. We could start, I guess, if we want to, with the coronavirus because everybody's talking about it. So we could talk about it too. But there's a lot of madness and misery right now around the coronavirus, the frenzy, the panic, the craziness. It's crazy. Like if I keep seeing all your all's picture of Costco and every other place that is bought out of toilet paper or who knows what else, I'm gonna flip out. It's crazy. Can you imagine? It's crazy. But here's the thing. Inside of the crazy lives the mission and the meaning. Inside the crazy lives the mission and the meaning. So let's unpack this, shall we? In business, we can go to courses and seminars and things, and they can teach us how to write a mission statement or what is your why and any other derivative of that question, right? Ultimately what we're trying to do is find why we're doing this work. And without the madness and misery, without being present to the madness and misery, what we're left with is like these very esoteric, cliche, overarching generalizations about why we do what we do. Well, I want to make the world a better place. And I want to stop pandemics like the coronavirus. We say these very general things. And the problem is that, number one, you are not inspired by that. You are not turned on by that. You know that there's something missing in the way you describe it. You're like, I don't know, this feels wordsmithy. This does not inspire me. This is not really my thing. Not really into this description that I'm giving you right now. Right? So that's the first problem, is you don't even feel the mission of your own work. Okay? The second problem is that the people you're trying to serve don't feel the mission of your work. They don't get the meaning of what you're doing. You just sound like everybody else because you're talking in cliches like everybody else is talking in cliches about your why and your purpose and your mission and all this stuff. So if you would like your work every day when you show up to work to have this sense of purpose and meaning and impact, and like what we're doing here actually matters, then where you have to go look is in the madness and the misery around you. You have to go look at, now you can look at that a couple places. One, you can look at it in your own life because you have been through madness and misery. A lot of times our important work in life is derived from the problems that we encountered along the way. In other words, in fact, it is often the problems and pains you went through that are the very things that prepared you for your important work. In other words, you're most qualified to speak about and serve people in the areas you struggled with because you struggled through something that others hadn't. You made it to the other side of the things that other people are currently stuck in. So you have to go look at your own madness and misery that you moved through to get access to what is the real mission here. The real mission and the real meaning comes from the helping others overcome the madness and misery you've been through. Okay, now here's the second place to look. You can look at, maybe you're not present to that madness and misery that you went through, or probably more accurately, you know the madness and misery you went through, but others are reacting to something else right now, like the coronavirus. And so people are like, oh my God, I need to buy toilet paper because of coronavirus. And my first reaction to that, gang, is to be like, you guys are being crazy right now. But if I paused and suspended judgment and I looked at what is the madness about? What is this? What is happening here? What I could start to see is that there is something happening over there for them that I could find myself in. I could relate to them. It's not hard to think about those times in life when I was young and I was like, I wasn't centered in myself and who I am. And so when threats came, not necessarily in pandemics, but when financial threats came, when existential threats came to me of like, who am I? What am I doing here? Panic set in for me. Crap, how am I going to provide for my family? Where is the next meal going to come from? What if my car breaks down? So I could get there. I could emotionally get to where people are freaking out right now about the coronavirus by simply looking back in my own life about where I felt threatened and the thoughts I had, the actions I took. I could get there. And from that place, I could then bring a message to the world that was rooted in meaning and mission. And that message would actually make a more profound impact and difference than just me quoting Instagram quotes and reusing cliches that have already been used. I know that you don't do this, but one of the things that happens and is taught in the marketing world, this is partly why the marketing world is so known for manipulation, is that marketers will see trending words. Oh, what's trending? They will look actually for trending words. There's a website called BuzzSumo, BuzzSumo, BuzzSumo.com. And you can go to BuzzSumo and you can type in any kind of keyword or phrase or whatever. And you can look at articles that have been shared the most based on that phrase, that topic. And then what marketers will do is they'll try to model it, hack it, copy it. They'll try to find what's popular, and then they'll recreate content because it was popular, hoping that they get engagement or action or eyeballs because their content is close to what's trending. Now, you can see this with the coronavirus in the media, right? The media is going, coronavirus. Oh, hey, everybody. The coronavirus is really popular right now, so let's talk about that. And then more people talk about it, and more people talk about it, and more people talk about it. But here's my question for you. Are they actually saying anything new? Besides an update in statistics, is there really anything new about it? No. It's more of the same being regurgitated and spun in new ways. Oh, here's another one. There's a software out there, or multiple softwares, that will actually let you grab a blog post or somebody's article, and you can squeeze it, you can paste it into this software, and it will spin it. It's called spinning it. It will spin the article to give you a 60% original or 50% original. You can tweak in this software how much of the article you want to be original. And by original, we mean it's going in, this algorithm is going in and replacing words with synonyms, so that when it comes out, the algorithms can't tell that this is a plagiarized piece of work. This is the freaking marketing world, people. This is why the consumer is so skeptical of marketers, because marketers spin stuff all the time. They don't say anything new or original, and they especially don't get to the madness and the misery that people are experiencing. They just keep regurgitating mission and meaning type stuff, spinning people's articles, regurgitating what's trending, and not dealing with the real issue. So, let's continue with the coronavirus. If we looked at what's the real issue here, it's not really a pandemic. I mean, from where I sit, I get that is a fact, that spread is happening factually. I get that. But if we go underneath all of that, what's causing this reaction? You could have a pandemic without this kind of reaction. What's causing that? I think, from my own experience, when I was in a reactive stage of life, it's because I didn't know. I didn't know what I could control and what I couldn't. My job wasn't my own. I'm not even sure that my dreams were my own. Like, I had goals and stuff, but those goals weren't even rooted in who I really was. There was this sense of, I don't know who I am. And when you don't know who you are and threats come, all of a sudden, that upsets the apple cart. Like, that throws you off center, big time. So if I really want to make a difference with the world, it's not like shaming you, post-shaming you for your pandemic posting. I'm not post-shaming people for either side of this issue. Some people think, oh, well, everybody's being crazy scared, and they shouldn't be, and other people are being like, you're not taking this seriously enough. I don't have to post shame you on either stance you're taking. I can just simply look at the fact that when you don't have a sense of control, you freak out one way or the other. And what's missing for people is this sense of control or certainty in their own life. So if I wanted to make a difference with those who are freaked out about a pandemic, where I could go to work, if I really wanted to have a mission and a meaning in impact over there with others, is rather than just posting some opinion that shames people, what I could do is I could actually start to speak to people's lack of certainty, people's fear of no control, because that's actually what gets at the issue. Just to say wash your hands doesn't help, right? Because we know to wash our hands. There is a bigger conversation underneath that. In the madness and the misery, washing your hands isn't madness and misery. Underneath washing your hands in madness and misery is people not feeling a sense of control in their life. So, I mean, think about that, right? Like, I could tell you, go wash your hands, and if you don't feel like you have a sense of control, your reaction to that is, well, even if I wash my hands, it's still gonna get me. Do you see why that doesn't work to just give common sense advice? Oh, wash your hands, right? Well, but that doesn't work for me because I don't have any control, and it's gonna get me. The boogeyman's gonna get me because I don't have any control. Okay, now we're in the shadow of it all, right? Now we're actually getting to the real madness and misery that's causing this panic. And this is not specific to the coronavirus. I'm giving it to you in that context because it's present and it's here, and I'm annoyed by it right now. But I'm telling you from this perspective, you could take this anyway, any direction. If you want your marketing, if you want your business, your messaging, anything, the work you're doing in the world to have mission and meaning, you've got to get into the madness and misery that your people are experiencing, because that is where the real work is done. And marketing is not about spinning trending words and phrases. Marketing is about getting to the madness and misery and putting it on loudspeaker so people can't hide. Most people in business will not market in a way that calls people out. Most people in business do marketing in a way that talks about products and services, features and benefits, and enables the hiding. We all just talk above the problems. We all talk up here above the madness and misery. We're like, oh yeah, it's a great day, Bob. Great day, Sally. It's really wonderful. And we don't call each other out. And so we keep pretending like nothing's wrong. Let's put it back in the coronavirus for a minute. We keep pretending like all there is to do is wash your hands. We keep pretending like all there is to do is buy another pack of toilet paper or whatever. When the real issue is people freak out when they don't feel like they have a sense of control. And they don't feel like they have a sense of control because they don't know who they are. There's no place to ground. There's no centering that happens. And when you can call that out in people from a place of love, from a place of I'm here to help, not from a place of shaming or judgment, but from a place of, do you want to continue to feel out of control, or would you prefer a different experience of your life? Then you give people the respect and the space to choose the next step. They either get to choose to stay hiding and pretending nothing's wrong, which is okay because that's their choice, but at least now I've called you out on it. Or you could choose to step into a different path. Now that is the beginning of empowerment and the beginning of control, because the minute you decide for you that you want something different, you have now exercised some element of control, that you are controlling this moment. You're making a decision in this moment to move out of madness and misery and into mission and meaning. This is the game of marketing, gang. It makes the world a better place. When you market from this place, it makes the world better because you're putting people in touch with their own power. I could keep going, but I think I've said all I need to say today about this whole conversation of madness and misery. And that if you're trying to find something more purposeful in your work, if you're feeling like marketing is not very purposeful for you right now, if you're feeling like you're not in alignment with your marketing and it feels more like the manipulation stuff and you're not willing to do that and sell out to that, and what you really want is something that feels aligned with who you are and it has mission in it and meaning in it, then what I'm telling you is you're going to have to start to dive into your own madness and misery and the madness and misery of your people. Okay? That's it, gang. That's what there is to do. If you'd like help with that, I have a 6-week program that dives into that exact topic. It's called the Groundswell Method Intensive. You can go to groundswellmethod.com, watch the free videos, and on the last page is an application button. The link is in the text of this post. So I've made that easy for you, and thanks for hanging out with me. Hey, stay sane, stay present, right? Go inside and find the things you can control so that you can be a leader for others, right? Don't just sit here and observe, but like, be a leader, provide leadership and perspective for others so that the rest of the world can lean on your energy and not be so freaked out about stuff. Okay. We are all divine beings who are much bigger than a coronavirus. Our spirit, the spirit inside of us from the divine, from beyond this body and this physical plane, the soul and spirit that dwells within us is much bigger and transcends this virus thing. And when you and I and us collectively remember that, we get present to something possible. We get present to control. We get present to certainty that we are not defined by a virus. We are bigger than a virus. We literally are bigger than a virus. Metaphysically, we are bigger than a virus. So here's to all of you staying sane and keeping perspective as you dive into the madness and misery in order to find your mission and meaning. See you tomorrow, gang.